For more on this, we're now joined by Nadia El-Bilasi, Equiti Group's senior market analyst. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. So how significant is the IMF's revision for South Korea? Does 0.9% signal genuine momentum or cautious optimism?
Thanks for having me. I think markets are going to be a bit cautious this time, just because there's a lot of political uncertainty in the markets that are going on right now. If we look at investor focus, we're definitely looking at PMI trade tensions, just because Trump spread that whole trade war comment last week again between China and the US. So I think overall markets are super vulnerable to any kind of tariffs. And if we look at South Korea, definitely we've seen that they were like the least affected by the tariffs because they didn't have that much tariffs placed on their country's exports. So I believe that overall the generic view would remain cautious, just as we see how the trade tensions would play out, if this is going to increase from placing more trade tariffs on countries in Asia. But I think markets were a bit relieved because Scott Bessent did say that they have they're kind of done with this whole situation. I think focus now will be on whether we're going to see more kind of tariffs. We're focusing on rate cuts and growth in South Korea that has been actually growing at a good pace, and inflation not being super elevated like majority of most countries. So I think they are at somewhat a good place.
Are investors overlooking the risks of a global slowdown with the Kospi at record highs?
I think recession woes have been in the market since the beginning of the year, since January. We've seen a lot of key big banks did say and warn of recession fears. However, I think when we did see a more policy easing from all central banks around the world in the face of a slower labor market, I think this is kind of the fix in the market right now. The more that we see labor markets struggling and global slowdown from supply chains or exports or all these things, operational side of the economy, I think easing policy definitely ends up saving the day. And this is what's prompting the rally over so far to reach, like for the Kospi to reach record highs, for all major indices to continue on with the rally without even a slight correction. I think that the policy changes that we're seeing, central bank policy changes, are really what making markets outperform and go to a place where it's overbought.
Equiti Group's senior market analyst, Nadia El-Bilasi, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World.